going to learn about dividing by powers of 10. So that would be like by 1, by 10, by 100 or 1000, so on and so on. And we're going to take a look at what actually happens here, and you're going to discover that there's actually a pattern. So I have a calculator up here so you can see what's going to happen to the decimal point every time you divide by a power of 10. So the first one is 51 and 8/10 divided by 1. Well, that's just like timesing by 1. So if you divide by 1, you're going to get exactly the same answer. So 51 and 8/10 divided by 1 is 51 and 8/10. Now, we're going to try the same number, 51 and 8/10, but now we're going to divide it by 10. Okay, and all that's going to happen is the digits will be the same, but the decimal will move. So if you look at the answer there, you still have the 5, the 1, and the 8, but the decimal this time, instead of between the 1 and the 8, it moved over one spot between the 5 and the 1. And that is because 10 is one place value and 1 0. So 5.18. Now the next one, I'm going to do the exact same number again, 51 and 8/10, but this time I'm going to divide it by 100. So you'll notice the digits are still the same, but now the decimal traveled 2 spots over and made 0.518. And that's because 100 has 2 zeros or 2 decimal places, so it moved 2 spots. Now the next number we're going to do is 18. Now if you take a look at 18, you don't see decimal points there, but they're actually still there if you remember. It's right after the 8. Okay, so the same rules apply. So if I'm dividing by 1, it's just going to be the same number. 18 divided by 8, or by 1, I'm sorry, is 18. Now the next one, 18 divided by 10, means we're going to probably move that decimal one spot to the left. So let's check it on the calculator. 18 divided by 10 equals still the 1 and the 8, but now the decimal moved one place over. Do the same thing with 18 divided by 100. So if you're getting the pattern, you're going to see that this means we're going to move the decimal 2 spots to the left. So now you have 0.18 or 1800ths. And then the next one is 18 divided by 1000. And since 1000 has 3 zeros, that means 3 place values. That means I'm going to move the decimal 3 spots to the left. So let's see what happens with 18 divided by 1000. It moved over 3 spots. So we actually had to add another 0 in there to get that third spot. So it would be 18 thousandths. So once again, all these powers of 10s are telling us is how far to move the decimal to the left. Now, what happens if we have something like this? Now we have exponents. We've covered exponents earlier this year. 10 to the 0 power means 0 tens, and if you have 0 tens, you're left with just 1. So that means 0 zeros. Now, if I have 10 to the first power, the exponent with a base of 10 is basically just telling us how many zeros. So 10 to the first power, or if you have 110, means you have 10. 10 to the second power means 2 zeros, that's what the 2 stands for, and that would be 100. So now if I divide these, it's the same rules. 49 divided by, or 49 and 3/10 divided by 1 is going to stay 49 and 3/10. 49 and 3/10 divided by 10 means it's going to move one spot to the left. So 4.93. Notice the digits didn't change, just the decimal did. Now if I do the same thing, 49.3 divided by 10 to the second power, which 10 to the second power means 100, or 2 tens, it should move 2 spots to the left, and you have 0.493, or 493 thousandths. That's how you divide by a power of 10. All you're doing is just moving the decimal however many spots the zeros tell you to.